All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's fire pitch session with Bilal Dahlab, the founder and CEO of the company Moneco, currently fundraising with us on SeedBlink. My name is Ronald. I'm the head of sales and investments at SeedBlink, and I have the pleasure to introduce you to Bilal and his exciting company Moneco. The agenda for the next, say, 30, 45 minutes max is Bilal will give us a short wrap-up, a short pitch of what Moneco is doing, how he came about with this idea and his co-founders, followed by a Q&A session. So investors are encouraged to use the Q&A button function at the below of the screen in order to ask questions. We will then go through them after the pitch is done. And we take it from there. And finally, we will wrap it up and give you some details on the deal itself. And having said that, and without further ado, I'm handing over to Bilal. You can share your screen now and show us what you guys built.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Ronald, for the invitation. We're very glad to be here. So just give me 1 second to share my screen. Yes, can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So, hi everyone, my name is Bilal Dahlab. I was born and raised in Switzerland, but my father comes from Algeria. I have a business background, so I studied at the University of St. Gallen. Then I was a private banker at Lombard Odier in Switzerland. I worked into the energy industry at ABB. And so then I joined the Boston Consulting Group. I was at the Casablanca office in Morocco. And so from there, I worked a little bit everywhere in French-speaking Africa and mostly for financial institutions. At BCG, I also met my co-founder Shams. So he was born and raised in Madagascar. He migrated to France to pursue his studies at ESSEC Business School. Then he was a trader in fixed income at Societe Generale. And then he also came at BCG. So we both became quite good friends. We had a common understanding of the market and wanted to start the venture together. And so the last one is Jimmy. So Jimmy, he was born in Benin. He grew up in different places in Western Africa. He studied computer science. He started his career at Google. Then he co-founded Point Afrique, which is a marketplace in Western Africa. They became leader in motorcycle, automobile, and spare parts. And then they did an exit with a car dealership in Nigeria. Then he joined IFC and then Paystack. Paystack, from the moment the company had some growth until the acquisition with Stripe. So basically about the problem statement. So today Moneco is mostly targeting French-speaking Africa, which is quite an interesting market. So it's above 400 million people. And so basically people living in French-speaking Africa have three common problems. The first one is it's very complicated to process international transfers. So receiving money is long and expensive, but sending money abroad is almost impossible. Payment cards, they do not work out of your country. And the last issue is currency devaluation. So despite these issues, the market is quite attractive. So today, about 75% of the population is below 35 years old. These countries receive a lot of money through remittances. There is an interesting economic growth and growth in the annual consumption. And last, the population is quite digital native. So the idea we had was the following. Why don't we build a neobank like in the West, but this time accessible from Africa? So basically today, the product looks like the following. So today in the countries that we target, anyone with a passport or an ID can open a Moneco account. He will have access to an account in Europe, an account in the United States, and a USDC wallet. A Visa card, virtual, which can be also then connected to Apple Pay or Google Pay for payment in shops. And last one, transfer. So either sending money in Europe, in the US, worldwide through USDC, or they can send remittance to Africa. So for us, this sounds maybe quite basic, but in Africa, this is something which is actually not accessible. So it unlocks a lot of use cases, and most of the use cases it will be for people processing cross-border transactions. So we have a lot of people using Moneco for e-commerce and import-export. So they either buy abroad or sell abroad. We have a lot of people using Moneco for freelance and remote work. So they use Moneco to receive the salary, and then they will process self-remittance. We have people using Moneco to travel abroad or to do online purchase, and then people receiving money from abroad also. So we have people receiving remittance, and also something which is quite interesting, more and more people use Moneco to receive their money from Airbnb. So in terms of go-to-market, we have mostly acquired our customer through digital channels. So we've been working with content creators, ads, referral, social media, and SEO. So at the moment, our average cost per download is around 10 cents. Then there is some loss until the account are validated. So on average, let's say that a validated account costs us 70 cents. And then the cost per active account is about $1.5, which is quite competitive. The other thing also, which is quite interesting at the moment, is since most of the transactions happening at Moneco are cross borders, we generate some fees on FX. And so at the moment, on average, we generate about $15 per active users, which means the CAC payback takes place in about 3 days. And then so about out of the $15 we generate on each user, the gross margin is around 45%. And at the moment, so we're working on some infrastructure improvement to push it to like above 60%. So 3 months after we have launched our offer, we had about 2,500 active users. In terms of deposit, a little bit less than 400,000. In terms of GTV, above 3 million, which means that each active users was processing above $1.2 thousand per month. And so then in terms of annualized revenue, we were close to 37K per month, so above 400,000 per year, sorry. Now about our revenue. So we have 3 types of revenue. The first one will be the account opening. So today to open a Moneco account will cost between $3 to $10, depending on the features the user will select. Then we also have subscription, so $1.5 to $5, depends also on the features. And so last one will be on transactions. The interesting things we had so far is 80% of the revenue we have generated so far was coming from recurring transactions. Now about the roadmap. So basically we had launched Moneco. Maybe one thing also to mention is we are a YC company. Basically we had done YC, so it was about 2-3 years ago. The offer was destined to the African diaspora in Europe, but we quickly realized that actually most of the business was, most of the potential was in Africa. So earlier this year, we have expanded our offer. So now we are doing our seed round. So we still target the African diaspora, but also people in Africa. And so at the moment, so we offer them offshore accounts, business account. Some features we would like to launch quickly will be multi-currency account. We're also looking at stocks and investments in crypto, and then also other financial products. About the competition, so the thing which is interesting within our market is they are not really competitive. What we do within this market is still new. It's also quite complicated to offer from a compliance perspective, as well from an infrastructure point of view. So let's say today you have like global neobanks like Revolut and Wise, which are great, but not accessible within our markets. You have some cross-border players like Sling Money, Paysera, and Gray, which are accessible within our market, but the offer is different. For example, they do not offer wallet or payment cards. You have pure crypto players. Then we know crypto players are more accessible into emerging markets, but the offer is a little bit complicated and not accessible to anyone. There are some great national fintechs also in Africa, like Wave and Jamo. Both of them actually went through YC as well, but the offer is limited to national services. And so then you have remittance specialists. So companies like legacy actors like Western Union, other great actors like Lemfi or TapTapSend, which are also doing a great job, but they only focus on the African diaspora and only on remittance. So they do not offer current account, payment cards, and so on. And so Moneco, the way we try to position ourselves, so it's on 2 levels. The first one is on the market that we address. So we are mostly focused on French-speaking Africa. So it would be the countries in Africa that speak French, plus the diaspora in Europe. And the other thing also on which we try to differentiate ourselves will be on the product offering. So we have remittance product, we have mostly banking products and also to some extent remittance products. So on this round, we are raising 3 million. Out of the 3 millions, about half has been committed, about 1/3 has been received. And so the goal of this fundraise will be 3 things. The first one, it will be to reinforce our compliance and license capabilities. What we have noticed at the moment is what we do is really needed within our market, but exotic market are a little bit tough to serve. Sometimes you have some instability. So yeah, it's something in which we need to make sure that we are strong enough. The second thing will be to develop our own infrastructure. So at the moment, Moneco is like in the middle, working with different partner providers, and so Moneco is like orchestrating a lot of the services. But the goal now would be to develop more our own infrastructure, also to improve our gross margin. And so the last thing would be obviously to help us growth within our markets. So this was Moneco in a nutshell. I hope everything was clear, and yeah, I would be very open to answer to any question.
Brilliant. That was fast, Bilal. Thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
I encourage the investors to use the Q&A button for any questions you may have. And while we're waiting for the first questions to drip in, I would like to kick off. I would like to clarify something first, a topic that I have been discussing bilaterally with an investor asking me, where is this company actually based?
Sure.
And this, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So since we had participated in Y Combinator, we had established the company in Delaware. But then, so we have subsidiaries in Europe, in Canada, and in Africa.
And it's fair to say that because this discussion we had as well, that you guys are mainly based in France, you have people on the ground in Africa.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's basically, I always considered it the French company, but okay, fair enough. On the business itself, with Moneco, I understand that users can basically open accounts and access your services with basically a passport or ID.
Yeah.
I mean, you try to make it as simple as possible. Was this a key priority all along?
Yeah, sure. So for us, it was quite important to have a very easy onboarding. In Africa, let's say you have two types of users in Africa. You have some people which are very tech savvy, so a lot of freelancers, people doing e-commerce and so on. And so they are super used to, let's say, a little bit more difficulty to access services. Some of them, they manage to set up Stripe account, for example. But I would say most people in Africa are not really used to this type of services. In Africa, a lot of the activities are still done informally. So for us, it was quite important to have something super easy. So today, opening Moneco account is as easy as opening also a Revolut or Wise account for someone based in Europe.
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah, it's a cell phone first
Exactly.
economy is mostly skipping a couple of technological transitions. I'm always amazed how good the mobile connection is in some sub-Saharan African countries. You wouldn't expect it unless you have seen it yourself. So this is like the cell phone is their laptop.
It's a very good, valid point what you say, and also it's something very interesting we have noticed on our website. We have almost no traffic coming from desktop. Most people coming on our website is with the mobile, and so now everything we design is mobile first.
Got it. Makes sense. So you're quite fresh and new into the market, but it's fair to say that you entered with quite an interesting growth trajectory already. I mean, you reached over 400K annualized revenue in under 3 months, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And strong recurring usage, which is important going forward. What do you read? What do these numbers tell you? What's your reading here?
So to me, there is two things which are quite interesting. There is the first one is to be fully transparent with people. We are very accessible, but we are not, in terms of pricing, we are not as cheap as a Revolut or a Wise. However, for people in Africa, they have no alternative, so they do not mind to pay this price. Also, a lot of the people using us right now, it's to make money. So people doing freelancing, people doing e-commerce and so on. So for them, Moneco is like a platform enabling them to make money. And so thing on which is interesting is you see people do not care to pay fees as long as you enable them to make more money. Our offer in Europe would not be that competitive, but the thing which it tells me is we really answer to one need. The other thing also which is interesting is we have managed to achieve these metrics with only 2,500 active users. And so, as I said before, in Africa today, the market we target is 400 million users. So I think, yeah, there is big potential to have something which could change the life of thousands of people, because in Europe, we do not realize it because our cards works everywhere. But in Africa, very simple things like paying your Netflix subscription, going on vacation, it's almost impossible. So I think we have big room to grow in Africa.
Got it. Makes sense. I would like to touch a bit on your investors, co-investors and early backers. I mean, you mentioned that you're a Y Combinator alumnus. There's Stanford Fund in your cap table. There's Ashim Capital. It's interesting and prominent names on your cap table. How do these investors actually help you or helped you on your journey so far? And how supportive are they? How much of the leverage can you take out of this?
Sure. So I would say so far the best investor we had was a Y Combinator. The thing which is super cool with the Y Combinator is, I mean, first you go through the program, but then you also always have access to the YC partners. And so with the YC partners, so for example, we've been discussing a lot with Tom Bloomfield. He's the co-founder and ex-CEO of Monzo, so one of the first neobank worldwide. So they are based in the UK. And so a lot of the issues that we've been facing, like pricing, compliance, go-to-market, and so on, he has been facing it. So very often, when we have key decisions to take also about partners or whatever, we have some touch points with YC. So this is really helpful for us. Also, in addition to their own experience, they have been helping a lot of companies doing similar services, but maybe in other markets. So for example, the play we do has been quite successful in Latin America, also in some countries of Southeast Asia. At the moment, to my knowledge, we are the first one doing it in French-speaking Africa. So this is also a great opportunity. At YC, we managed to benefit from the knowledge of the YC partners, but also from companies doing similar things in, let's say, more advanced markets.
Got it. Got it. What are you, I mean, Francophone Africa is obviously a logic target market for you guys, being French speakers and having personal backgrounds in the region to some extent. It's very interesting. But how do you scale in those emerging markets? What's the secret sauce here in order to scale a business in these admittedly not easy markets? And what did you learn over the past few years in that respect?
Sure. So to me, there is two things which we have learned. So the first one is people really need what we do, and they're willing to pay an extra to have access to it. Now, what I also understand is at the moment, Moneco is quite interesting for people generating money thanks to Moneco. So people using it for work, them, they don't care. However, the thing on which I realized that we will have like a roof, a limit will be our pricing. Our goal also, then it would be to do mass market, like anyone in French-speaking Africa could have a Moneco account, I don't know, to pay his Netflix subscription, to go on vacation sometimes, or just to receive money from times to times. But at the moment, our pricing is maybe a little bit too aggressive for these people. So I think for us, the way, to go forward and to really have a mass market adoption would be to have a free version of Moneco and something a little bit cheaper. And so I would say, yeah, with that, it would help us a lot.
Okay, I'm going to a question from the audience now. What about competition from M-Pesa or Orange Money? Why are those not in the competition chart, please?
Sure. So M-Pesa is, M-Pesa, they are mostly in English-speaking Africa, so it would be, mostly in Kenya and other countries within this region. Orange Money could be a competitor, but the difference is Orange Money, what they do is only a national offer. So it's like a local wallet. You can exchange money from one person to another. But with Orange Money, you cannot send money abroad. You cannot receive money from abroad. You cannot buy anything online also worldwide. So to me, Orange Money is more like a local wallet, but I would not call them a bank account.
Okay. What is your ideal customer profile actually? Because you talked about a lot the small business owners, the single family kind of entrepreneurs or solopreneurs. What is it? Is it the retail customers in the streets of Francophone African country, or is it more like the small business owners?
So we have some small businesses. At the moment, we only offer individual accounts. Business accounts should be available before the end of the year. So at the moment, we're discussing with larger importers or exporters in Africa that could be interested to have business accounts. Yeah, for more transactions. At the moment, I would say we have three main personas. So the first one will be people doing e-commerce. So it will be people who buy things in China and then they resell it in Africa. So these people, they need to have a Visa card to buy on AliExpress, Alibaba, or Amazon, and then they will resell it. The second one will be freelancers. So we have a lot of people coming from Upwork, Fiverr, or this type of platform, and they use Moneco to receive their salary. And so the last one is also a travel agency. Since in Africa, most of the economy is informal and very cash-based, most people, they do not really know, they cannot buy anything online. So people going on vacation, usually what they do is they will go to a travel agency, they will give some cash to the agency, and they will ask them to pay for the plane tickets, for the hotel, and so on. And so then they will go abroad. And so what we have realized is a lot of travel agencies today, they use Moneco cards to book trips for their customers. So I would say these three types.
Got it. So we talked a lot about what you have achieved already. Now, you're raising a round. There's more than half already in.
Yeah.
And you obviously want to scale as fast as possible
Sure.
because you have a first mover advantage from what we can hear so far, and obviously need to grab that market in order to build up a solid position there.
Mm.
Let's look into the future.
Yeah.
What's on the horizon? What milestones, important ones, would you expect to hit in the next year and a half?
Sure. So with the metrics we currently have, we aim at being profitable early or mid next year. With the current growth that we're having, now our goal is to grow much faster. One thing we have realized, which could be quite interesting, is what we have built was actually not that easy to set up, to get the right license, to get the approval from a central bank, to have partner banks which accept to collaborate with you on the use case, to issue cards for people living in different countries and so on. So it's really not that easy to set up. And so now what we see is some, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but some companies in Africa are very interested in our offer, but they would like to have access to it, to then give deliver it to the end customers. So one thing that we're currently working at is open our API to enable, to do like some type of B2B2C. So collaborating with local fintechs in Africa to tell them, okay, so if you connect to Moneco, you can offer your account to your customers, you can offer them Visa cards and so on. So this is something, I mean, the good thing with that is currently our license enable us to do it, our tech also. So now we are in the phase in which we're opening our API and start to do some testing. So this is something which could drive a lot of growth. And so then in terms of features, the other thing also which we also put a lot of hope in it is investment. One key issue we have in Africa is inflation. So, I have seen people in some countries, I mean, when you have 30 to 50% of inflation per year, I mean, you see your savings, they are decreasing, I mean, drastically. And so now some people are very interested to use Moneco, to keep their money on Moneco like a saving account. But so now some of them even deposit a lot of money now. But so now what they start asking us is, would it be possible for us to invest money somewhere? Because now the money is stored into international account, and so they tell me, okay, me from Algeria, from Tunisia, I cannot invest in Apple, in Nvidia, or whatever. Would it be possible now with Moneco, since the money is located in a hard currency in the Western world? And so this is really something we would like to have ready for next year as well.
Interesting. Okay, opening the capital markets, the Western capital markets for
Yes.
these users and investors. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. From your perspective as CEO and one of the founders, why should investors now join Moneco? Why is it now the best time to invest in your growth journey?
Sure. I think when we had joined YC, there was a lot of uncertainties. Back then, we had an idea, but we were previous consultant. We knew what we wanted to do, but we were not operators. We had never obtained a license. We had never acquired a single customer. But YC and other investors, they had believed in the play and in the team. I think now the good thing is we start to have a track record. The other thing also, which is quite interesting, I would say, is we have obtained a license. We have proven that we can acquire customers. We have proven that these customers are okay to pay fees to have access to our services. So to me, a lot of the activities have been de-risked. The other thing, which is on the other hand, which is still very interesting, is the valuation of the company. To me, it's still accessible and okay. While some years ago, people had no idea of we would be able to make it. So to me now, to some cases, we have proven that what we're doing is needed. People would pay for it, but at the same time, the price is still accessible. So I would say right now is quite a good timing to join it, while when people would join at a Series A or Series B, the price would be much more expensive.
Understood. I want to linger on that point a bit, and I don't see any further questions. So just to recap the deal terms, Moneco is obviously fundraising among others at SeedBlink currently. So we have a ticket available of 150K, can go a bit higher if necessary. There is already $1.7 million in, so out of a $3 million round in total. And since Bilal talked about the valuation, it's a safe round. It's not an equity round, but it has a post money cap of 15 million. Yeah. And that against the traction, that is indeed a reasonable cap that we see in the market. This is also for the investors to understand that it's not an equity round that needs to get to 3 million and then close. It's a safe round, which means the tickets are coming in as we speak, and therefore SeedBlink is in the position to offer to our investors a small share of this as well. The deadline as of today is the 12th of October, so it's a bit less than 2 weeks time to go. And that's the timeline we want to give ourselves in order to close this round. And since we want to keep this one efficient, and I asked and grilled Bilal quite a bit, we answered the questions in the chat. I would wrap it up here and thank everybody for your participations. There will be an email going out to everybody who registered and who was in the call, obviously, with the recording of this session. And would be great to see some of you as future investors in Moneco and to join this interesting team and this growth story. Thanks, Bilal, for your time. Highly appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.